Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to break down Tobias Gray's guide on transforming all of this cultural anxiety we have around artificial intelligence into tangible, creative opportunities. Look, if you've been feeling, totally overwhelmed by the sheer volume of news, opinions, and let's face it, sci-fi panic surrounding AI lately, you are absolutely not alone. But today, we're going to cut right through that noise. We'll be unpacking Gray's book, Make Money with AI, blending AI with artistry, so you can clearly see how to turn this massive technological shift to your absolute advantage. Okay, let's just quickly run through our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI disruption opportunity, demystify the technology itself, compare strong versus weak AI, take a hard look at the limitations of the machine, examine the societal impact, and finally get into monetizing AI for creatives.
Section 1, the AI disruption opportunity. So to kick things off, we need to completely reframe how we look at the rapid technological changes happening around us right now. Why? Because how you view this shift literally dictates whether you'll be paralyzed by it or whether you'll profit from it. We currently find ourselves living in what a famous Chinese proverb calls interesting times, and that can either be a curse of pure chaos or the ultimate blessing for substantial growth. As YouTuber Tom Bilyeu points out, the real threat isn't that AI is going to take your job. It's that someone using AI is going to take your job. Times of peace are often pretty barren grounds for growth. It's actually the disruption that provides the fertile soil, provided you're prepared to create some order out of the chaos.
Okay, I know it sounds like a totally strange comparison, but stick with me. Much like the creatures highlighted in the 2020 documentary My Octopus Teacher, AI is really only terrifying until you take the time to actually understand it. Think about it. We're taught to fear things with 8 legs, right? But the more we learn about the octopus, the less we fear it, and the more we're just fascinated by its incredible intelligence. If you Google AI right now, you'll be hit with nonstop fear-mongering and sci-fi panic. But just like panicking in the middle of the ocean doesn't help you swim, catastrophizing about AI serves absolutely no one. This brings us to the law of the instrument, which basically states that if all you have is a hammer, well, everything starts to look like a nail. AI is a powerful tool, exactly like that hammer. And once you learn how to wield it correctly, you become empowered rather than replaced. If you don't know the intended purpose of AI, you can't possibly take full advantage of it. So, our main goal today is to teach you how to properly swing this hammer so you can actually build something with it.
Moving right along to Section 2, demystifying artificial intelligence.
Let's strip away the sci-fi magic for a second by establishing a really clear, grounded vocabulary. We need to define what these systems actually are, entirely without the Hollywood drama. Our fear so often comes from that dramatic robot uprising narrative that was basically born way back in the 1927 film Metropolis, with a robot named Maria. But the reality, it's much more practical. It evolved from NASA space exploration in the 1990s with rovers like Sojourner, straight into the everyday, mundane algorithms running inside the phones in our pockets right now. Artificial intelligence isn't one singular boogeyman. It's really a collection of subfields that simulate human intelligence to solve complex problems.
So, breaking that down, a crucial piece of this is machine learning. This is what allows programs, like the board game playing AlphaGo, to learn from mistakes and optimize strategies completely independently over time. AlphaGo learned to play one of the world's absolute hardest board games, not by being handed all the answers, but by floundering, finding effective strategies, and improving its performance using statistical techniques.
Next up is natural language processing, or NLP. This is the exact technology pulling the strings behind those chatbots you probably interact with every single day. It's essentially how a machine interprets human language, extracts the relevant data it needs, and spits out an appropriate conversational response. And finally, we have computer vision. This is the tech that allows self-driving cars to navigate our streets safely and facial recognition systems to securely unlock our devices. It allows algorithms to visually analyze the real world, extracting information to make incredibly rapid, split-second decisions.
Which brings us to Section 3, strong versus weak AI.
Now that we actually know the terms, we need to bring our expectations right back down to earth regarding what AI is currently capable of doing today. There is a very stark contrast between science fiction and reality here. You see, we do not have strong AI yet. We only interact with weak AI. That means systems like Siri, your email spam filters, or your Spotify recommendations. These can only perform highly specific tasks. Siri might be great at waking you up on time, but she lacks consciousness. Netflix can recommend a killer movie for a Friday night, but it has zero actual human understanding. It's domain specific, and trust me, that is a massive distinction.
Section 4, Limitations of the Machine.
Understanding these limits is absolutely critical because it reveals exactly why the human element remains completely essential in the creative process. Because AI cannot interpret nonverbal signals, apply everyday common sense, or generate completely original ideas out of thin air, it requires a human pilot to guide it and give it actual meaning. The source text actually gives this really fascinating anecdote about a young Elon Musk. He struggled socially because he treated conversations kind of like an automaton, constantly correcting people without grasping the emotional context. Well, AI is exactly the same way. It totally misses subtle social cues and lacks that innate human contextual awareness. Meaning, it relies entirely on us to mentor the machine and point it in the right direction.
Let's look at Section 5, Societal Impact and Challenges.
Now, we still really must honestly acknowledge the massive macro-level shifts this technology is forcing onto our world. We just cannot ignore the wider consequences. The source text makes it abundantly clear that we are facing a stark contrast here. On one side, AI brings very serious risks like labor inequality, where easily automated jobs face rapid displacement, and wealth concentrating within a few massive tech companies. There are also incredibly valid concerns around data surveillance and drone warfare. But right alongside those very real threats are miraculous benefits, particularly in fields like healthcare, where AI is offering unprecedented, highly personalized treatments and diagnostics. It's a deeply complex landscape that requires our active, ongoing attention.
And finally, Section 6, Monetizing AI for Creatives.
This brings us to the practical payoff. How can you blend your human creativity with AI's raw efficiency to generate personal income? Well, here is your cheat sheet for monetization. This shows exactly where writers can deploy AI drafting and editing tools to scale their output and actually build revenue. You can use AI to brainstorm, outline, or clean up your prose. And then, here's the key, bring that human touch to platforms like Medium's Partner Program or build premium subscription newsletters over on Substack. You can participate in Vocal Plus competitions or build a massive, dedicated community for your fiction on Wattpad. Essentially, the AI does the heavy lifting, but you provide the soul.
Furthermore, you can leverage AI platforms to manage massive social media ecosystems. You let the tools take care of the robotic analytics so you can focus on what actually matters, genuine human engagement. Tools like Hootsuite allow you to totally automate the scheduling and the data monitoring. If the machine is handling all that tedious background work, you are freed up to do what AI absolutely cannot do: connect empathetically and authentically with your audience.
To wrap things up today, Tobias Gray reminds us of William Shakespeare's timeless warning from Julius Caesar, that monumental shifts in history wait for no one. The current is already moving, and we are, for better or worse, already afloat on this full sea.
So, now that you understand the tool that's actually in your hands, the only question left is this: will you let this tide of innovation just pass you by, or will you ride it to your advantage? Will you be paralyzed by living in interesting times, or will you blend your unique artistry with this immense computing power to build something truly incredible? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today.